So, sorry, I'm bumping into things here. Today we are planning from September 15th through the 21st. Definitely mid to late, getting into later September, which, is it's, I guess it's one of those busier times of the year, much like June. I've talked about this many, many times, is like those to me are like the golden times. They're like I don't know. It's so busy in June with trying to wrap things up with school, and so busy to start with school. I guess primarily because I'm a mom. It's like, yeah, it'll be interesting to see when my son is out of school, and it's still many years. It's still a ways away, but to see if I still get to like slow down and experience some of those times. But yeah, I'm trying to keep looking outside and going, it's September, going to appointments, like noticing the leaves. There's some leaves falling, but it's still all green out there. So that's why I kind of picked some stickers here. Now these are from October of 23 Sterling ink, and you can always tell by the little code here in the corner here. So it says 2310, which is October 23. These kind of have like that still a little green, but still going into fall. I mean, they were slated for October. I don't know. It's something just kind of called to me about these. And I have their matching days of the week here. And then I thought just use some green little dots. And yeah, and then I was going to handwrite the other things. I didn't grab a highlighter though. Let me see what that would be. Out of my big stash here. Let's go back here. See if there's a green here. Like I'm also using like these. So I'm kind of wondering about this like 192 or 228. I think the 228. Let's see. Unless I want to just do a gray. Like this warm gray is the highlight. I might do that. Because we're definitely getting gray days here. And I'm going to have green here. So I'm just kind of wondering about the warm one here. Just keeping it simple. Because I also have a washi here that is actually kind of a brown. This is a very old Sterling ink washi. I don't get to use this one that much. It looks kind of more like a mushroom brown. So I thought, hey, why not? And that's kind of why I picked this. So just to recap, I wasn't here a whole lot more. I got some good news and then some disappointing news. I'm still waiting for my meds, and they won't be able to move me up any sooner. So that's disappointing because there are some light symptoms coming back, and I know this is a little dangerous. I do have some prednisone I can take, and we might be getting to that point. Like my old doctor didn't want me taking it unless it's an emergency, so I'm going to contact her tomorrow and just see about timing, because as of tomorrow it will be 4 weeks after I'm due, and it's still kind of within, but I'm still like 2 more weeks out, which is the unfortunate part. So yeah, here's the 15th, and I think the soonest I'd be getting it here, because I have this appointment, and they said I could get it within about 3 to 4 days of that. I don't know if that's business days. So I'm thinking sometime here, probably going to be like October 1st. I have an October 1st COVID shot scheduled, but I have a feeling I won't be able to use that because that's right when I'll get my infusion, and you're not supposed to have like vaccinations 2 weeks before your infusion. I mean, I think I've been at like 10 days out, like, and it's not horrible, but really you don't want to be messing with that too much. So I'm gonna have to reschedule that for like mid-October, so a ways there. But I mean, when I see the person here, I will be getting an infusion here. I'm also on a wait list to try to see someone earlier. I did get a new GP that's closer. Not as, I mean, it's more of like a 20-minute bus ride and much more doable. But then my husband and son found one that you can just walk to in about 5-10 minutes. So I'm kind of like, should I move to that one? Because they've been really on it. And they asked if I wanted to register, and I already had all my files going to the other place. So I think for this time, at least for right now, I'm going to stick with my new one, and I'm just thrilled that they got into one down here, because the doctor can make house calls, and it really does help that you're close by and that they could run over if there's something that they could look at you for to get a prescription or something. The person at the GP I'm going to wouldn't be able to do that because they're further away. But there weren't many openings down here. When you're in a smaller city, it's harder because, and there's a shortage of GPs too. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard right now. I was hoping that maybe they could bump me up, but no. I mean, I understand. My GP, the current one that I met with, who was really awesome, and now I'm being passed to a second one. She was amazing. She really did try her best. I didn't feel like she could do any more, and I don't think the clinic could do any more because they were fully booked up, nowhere to like squeeze me in. So I kind of had to like come to terms with it on Wednesday and then just let it go, and kind of be on alert this next week and see if anything pops up. But I was going through and canceling all of our streaming. We were kind of using it via VPN for a little bit. So, but it's hard. It keeps logging you out. Because they don't want you to do that. But, so we're looking at getting like 2 streaming, and then I canceled the rest. So, yeah, and I was making some good work, progress on things, and then keeping track of all this kind of worked. So I even today, I feel like I'm getting a little bit more traction. Like I moved around the deposits that we're supposed to make here for our visa. That's all set. I just need a bookkeeper now to be able to log in and finalize it. And that means our visa is set for 2 years. You just need to prove that the deposit has been made because that's part of the visa. And then I was moving around. AdSense accounts, because on YouTube, technically I'm over here now, and so I needed a bank account here and then an address here and everything, and now they're going to go through that verification. I'm already verified for this account to earn money, but when you move, you have to set up a new AdSense account. So I was going through that, and it was a little opaque, right? a little hard to tell where to go. So that, and then I think what I'm going to be doing is like gathering up things that have been like everywhere and putting them into Patreon. So my podcast I need to kind of pull over, and my downloadables I need to pull over, and videos. Like now I'm kind of understanding it a little bit more, so bear with me. I do have an account there, and I'm trying to see how to switch it over to the new address, or if I need to just start from scratch. So that's kind of what I'm looking at right now. I might start from scratch, because it says in there like USA and stuff, and sometimes it's really hard to move that. So yeah, it's just a lot of admin work, but like getting through it, and then canceling subscriptions for my business that I just don't need. I was like, where am I going to start here? And then the new that GP that my husband got in, it was like, hey, you want to come next week? And he's like, yeah, okay. So, and that's why I'm like, maybe I should just switch over, because they're seeing people sooner. And this GP was closed for a bit to new registrations. So, but I think because both of my family members are there, I think I could get in if they close it again. I had them recommended from our realtor called Lars here, and I was just like, I need somebody. And so she pointed me at them, and they were closed for registrations because so many people are moving here. And the shortage, right? So it's a couple things. But yeah, I just happened to come across, hey, we're open right now. And I'm like, okay, right now. So, yeah, we got 2 people registered, and they're like, hey, you want us to register your wife? And my husband said no, because I chose to go somewhere else. So we'll see. I think, as I was like starting to say, like, we'll try both different locations and just kind of see how it goes. But like right now, I think if I had moved again, it would cause some confusion, but also it would get me maybe a week difference, which at this point might not be worth it. And I might find that I really like that doctor better. So who knows? Who knows? We'll see. I remember, in the US where it took me a while to figure out my doctors, and I kept bouncing around there. So sometimes, we can bounce around. We can, let's see. So, that one has 2. Interesting. I wonder if, I'm wondering if like this one meant to be down here because there's 2 blank ones. I just find that interesting. Should I use the double? Yeah, I'm just looking here. Although it doesn't really matter. Yeah, I'll use the one with the double. Why not? I think I'm going to highlight more down here, so I'm not going to highlight across the top. I don't think so anyway. Do I want to? How dark is this? That's kind of dark. So, this is kind of making it heavier down here. Yeah, I don't want to highlight up there. So yeah, that's kind of how things are going. But it's nice to have my business registered, have the bank accounts working and hooked up. I had a little trouble figuring that part out because there was like a business version of the app for the bank, and I downloaded it and it just wouldn't connect. And then it said, oh, well, if you have a really small business, like, you know, micro business is basically what sole proprietors are, then you're just with your regular bank app. You can just swap between accounts in there. You don't need this fancy one. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I downloaded that for no reason, but it wasn't clear, and my Dutch is still coming along. Yeah, I'm like on the tail end because I've been doing so many other things. I mean, I can recognize certain words over and over. Could I say them? Probably not. We've been here just over 2 months, so I'm trying to remind myself of that. My son's learning quite a bit. I quizzed him a little bit and asked him if he could teach me some. So that's kind of what we're doing. And then we have these 2 appointments. Actually, let's, where did I put my phone? Here we go. Let's get my son's classes on here first. So I keep thinking the 8th is this week, and I have to be like, no, that was last week. Yeah, so he is 8:30 to 2:30. No, why did I see 8:30 there for a moment? I'm like, no, Mondays are a little bit later. 8:30. And let's see. I'm finding writing the times in is helping a lot instead of having just a line like I did before, but everything is varying, so like it's changing. And sometimes, I know that's kind of after, but I need the time in there. And sometimes there's a cancellation altogether. And it says, I don't know when he's actually going to be out. It says like 1:45, but I don't think it's going that late, because every other week he's been coming home earlier than that, like around noon he'll head home. So I'm going to put these in. Ooh, I really like that color. So I'm on here. feels a lot more gentle, this color. Dot there, and then this looked like so much earlier than that, but those are correct. So I did see people from Sterling Ink getting their planners already. Mine's going to be a while because it's international, but that's okay. I didn't get one of the flashy new ones. I did not get a complete. As I said, I don't know how those are going to do with stickers, and I want to see that first because I regularly sticker. Let's see, so I'm gonna that. Come here, sticker. And I was looking like through my stash here of like so many stickers and things, and I am glad that I invested in quite a bit. I'm gonna turn this just slightly. When I had the chance in the US, like Cloth and Paper is in the US, Sterling Ink is in the US, Dandelion Diaries, like a lot of stuff is in the US, and so it does help to kind of stock up while you're there. I don't know if, I mean, we'll see how. I'm going to put my quote down here, so I'll just put that across there, and then I do want to put some of these things. I love just having something right in between here to denote the weekend. And I'm kind of like, I think I want to put a whole line just this time because I'm really liking this line color. Does that not feel? The shadows are kind of throwing me a little bit. Here we go. Let's try this. It doesn't have to be like edge to edge, but just kind of saying that's the weekend. Okay. And then I love these little bottles. Have kind of a hint of green to them, like brown, green, grayish. Sometimes people call it grayish. It's kind of the color of our sofa that's coming. We cannot wait until it comes. It is, I think, I'm gonna put it here because this is kind of plain right there. I think it's gonna fill that in a little bit. I think it's called Planet Gray, Planet Grayish, one or the other. And we have sometime this week, they're going to give us a notice that it's coming. I think by Friday, it should be like we get that notice so we can schedule when it's arriving. And I'm going to pick the soonest day. We're just going to hop on it and try to pick something right away. So, because we are really missing having a, see, I feel like something kind of in here. I don't know. This could be tucked back there, but, no, I think like here, this kind of feels a little better. Okay, moving back to here. I'm also looking forward to, I have to be honest, I mean, I like to cook and things. I'm not like a big like, let's do all these wonderful recipes for a certain day. I mean, maybe for like a birthday or something, but and maybe once at Christmas time. But I just have never been into Thanksgiving. I like the foods then, but I would almost personally like to make them any other time. Now, it will be interesting this year because they don't celebrate it here, obviously. And I just kind of feel like it'll be nice to go from like all of October and November being fall. And although they have Sinterklaas comes on November 15th, I believe. And so it's going to be a, yeah, this is a lot darker here. I'm glad I didn't put it all the way on the other one. So that kind of marks the beginning of Christmas time, but that's why I'm kind of like right now, mid-September through mid-November, we have a good 2 months just focusing on fall. And we're gonna see how much Halloween they do here. It's not much from what I've seen and heard. It's not. They don't do door to door, but there could be, you know, some extra gatherings and get-togethers and kind of. I know some expats are getting together to kind of do a Halloween thing, but it's not, we already were like, we're going to get together here at our own home and we're going to play certain games and we're going to do like just things that we like to do. I think this feels better right here. I had some old cameras that I donated. I kept one or two, I think. And the acorns are dropping all over outside. I think I'm going to put this like right here. Nope, I don't like that. Thank goodness the sterling ink leaves no residue behind. I think I want something at the top there. So, yeah, it's just, my goal is to really feel into like into fall right now. I don't want this too matchy. Let's see. Maybe something more here-ish. Where is this little brown leaf gonna go? I think I've decisioned out. You know, when you make like a bunch of decisions. Let's see. Maybe I will put it here and just have it as like a day that I really want to like sit back and notice some things. I kind of want to put some decor on these days over here. You know, kind of like they're falling. Because we have seen a lot of like these kind. I'm trying to remember what these are. Kind of like a helicopter type. Falling down here, so kind of have it fall. Anyway, I'm gonna write 10 o'clock. We have to go to the school, and then 10:30. So those are in there. Yeah, and then it's the next week that is more busy. A little bit more going on health-wise. Yeah, they are what they are. Okay, I'm going to... I did like mixing things up a bit. Yeah, I had my like to-dos here. And the meals were down here. Let's try that again. And I'm just going to handwrite everything because I didn't like I didn't want to put the other stickers I don't feel like these go with that. That's just me. So, and then I might make a little different like checklist over here because that worked just to have a place. And then I have like to-dos like personal and work down here. So I think I'll put like work. And then up here was kind of like chores. And so I definitely did. Trying to write kind of scripty. Oh, I just realized we have our garbage. So every 2 weeks. Although we're taking recycling down, well, maybe once a week. That's the one thing that puzzles us here is there is so much plastic in their packaging. More so than the US, I feel. Maybe I'm just buying the wrong things. I'm trying to buy the meal kits. I've talked about that. It's all into one thing, but then it's like the cheeses and the meats and it's just a lot. But they recycle a lot of it. Like it's very much like, Ridwell was in the US, so we are doing similar things. And Ridwell would pick up every 2 weeks. So write 9 here, usually. And that's just going to point at trash. Okay. And then I'm going to try going from this side. Saturday. Well, it's Saturday, Sunday, Saturday, Friday, Thursday, Wednesday, Tuesday, right? Tuesday. Okay. I guess going backwards helps. I think because I can actually see the space, I can just kind of space them out a little bit more. So, really quick, we're going to do weather. What did I forget last time? There was, I guess, meals. I put the quote at the bottom. I don't know. I felt like I did something after. I always find like one little thing I didn't do to set myself up for the week. I try to vary things, but still, it's, where is, okay. Monday, definitely getting into some cooler weather here. 14, 19. I guess there's some rain coming in tonight and then a little bit more sun midweek here. 14, 17, 14, 18, 15, 19. I love the teens. Sorry, I'm kicking my bag there. It's my laundry bag. I put it right under my desk. Because we have smaller spaces here. I mean, it's actually a pretty big place, but we still have like limited space for cupboards. Oh, cupboards, closets. 15, 26. That's right. It was going to be warm on Saturday. And then 15, 20. Okay. So, very muted tones, But that's kind of what's going on outside. I wanted to kind of mimic that and use up some older stickers and some older washi. I like this washi. It's kind of that mushroom color there. And anything else? Yeah, I'm hoping like maybe I'll get my order in the next 2 to 3 weeks. It's still going to take like 2 weeks. Once I get a notification, it's still going to be like 2 weeks till it comes. So it's going to be a little while. I'm getting excited for it. It's interesting what I realized I got. And so it'll be fun to share. I did get a couple of requests about doing size comparisons of notebooks. I know on the Sterling Ink website you can actually, it's wonderful what they programmed was to have the different sizes like comparison on the web page. But sometimes it's kind of nice to just see on a screen. So I did like a rough edit one time. I attempted to do it and I needed to get a little bit more organized. And so I'm going to try that again this week. My goal is to hopefully midweek get that out of just a rough, like I do have quite a collection to show like comparisons of size that I got here. And I don't know, sometimes it helps me to see things, but the other thing I really have to take note of is everybody's hands are different sizes. My fingers and hands are like larger, so this A5 looks a little smaller. I notice when other people are using like a B6 and they have smaller hands, I'm like, wow, that B6 looks huge. And then I used a B6 and I'm like, this feels so small. So I know I can only do so much, on the screen here, and I could, leave this up on the side or something just to kind of show scale a little bit. But it's nice to kind of see them next to each other, especially showing bound and rings next to each other, because there's passport for both of those. There's A6 for both of those. There's A5 for both of those, and they are slightly different. So, yeah, I'm going to try to attempt that just to have it on my channel. I think it might just be useful for reference in the long term. But yeah, we're going to go more muted tones. We're going to kind of sink into the earth is kind of like, that's what it feels like right here. We're just kind of going to ground ourselves this week. At least I'm talking to myself. You do you. But I'm kind of wondering about finally visiting the beach sometime here. So we'll see. It will be really nice on Saturday. It might be kind of busy, but I mean, who cares? I just want to see the beach. So if you enjoyed this, please consider liking it and subscribing. If you want to hang around in here when the Patreon, as I'm forming it here, is going to be ready. There will be kind of like, because I'm kind of pooling these things together, there's going to be a lot of content to kind of go and peruse right off the bat. Like there's things in there that, yeah, it's kind of old, but I've tried my best to make things timeless on this channel. So trying to stick to that. Anyway, I'm going to leave that there, and my phone's going off for absolutely no reason. And I hope you have a really good week, and I hope there's one thing this week that really makes you smile, and maybe we'll have to seek it out, or maybe it kind of just happens to, luck happens and it happens to you, someone paying for your drink, or noticing a gorgeous rainbow, or just something like that, which just happens. But then also, I'm talking to myself here, seek some really important salient, deep, grounding little moments. Like, it can be deep and brief, right? Like, it can be a short little walk or just taking some photos or whatever it is. Just something little for yourself this week. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you next time. Bye.